What's up, my friends? Welcome back to another episode on console racing only. My name is Santi, and today we're going to be talking about the DTM 46. Now, first of all, obviously, this game is pretty fun. Car X Drift, online, on the console. Super easy to play. I play it with my remote. I play it in automatic mode because I just wanted this to be like a super easy, fun experience, and so far it has been. The DTM 46 is becoming one of my favorite cars again. It wasn't always this good. It's one of these cars that I feel like is underpowered, and you really got to make sure that you don't overgrip the rear end. Make sure that you balance in your gear ratios correctly, and that'll make the car come back to life in those higher gears. Quick look at the suspension. I always run the back end of the car pretty soft, stiffen up the front. 7.5 degrees of front camber. Almost nothing for rear camber. Just under a degree. And like I said, you're not trying to overgrip this rear end. You want your caster to be fairly high on these cars. So most of my cars are going to run between 7 and 10 degrees of caster with a 25 Ackerman and all the angle you could possibly get. The wheels, 18-inch, 315 in the rear, 255 in the front. Fairly soft PSI. Here's my 100 adhesion for the grip levels there. And just a slightly taller front tire to make it not look so goofy. Power levels, everything is turned up except for the max torque. You want to drive that down a little bit, put it into some of the useful RPM ranges to make sure that the car will dig itself out of some holes. 395 of the rear end. Now, I didn't mess with any of the other gear ratios, but 5th and 6th, I've tightened them up, obviously. My car almost never gets to 6th gear, but 5th gear is definitely a gear that can get a little bit boggy, so tightening up that gear will bring some life back to the power band when you're in 5th gear. The brakes, you're going to have to get good at left foot braking, so you're going to want to make sure that there's a front bias and make sure that the torque isn't high enough to where it ends up locking up the front end and sort of washing out the front end. So you're going to want to, like I said, just make sure that it's a front bias, fairly low torque. And the car should do pretty well for you. You're going to have to left foot brake a lot if you really want to get in there and run some doors. So jumping into some of the footage, it was pretty easy to end up finding a pretty good room. I believe I was in the European servers. I don't really remember. This wagon up here is looking pretty dope. It was fun to follow, and I'm still kind of getting my groove. I've been making a lot of changes to this car, and so really just sort of getting used to it. Looks like a slapped train livery, maybe slapped ham. Not really sure. One of the slap YouTubers. It looks pretty cool. I've got one of those wagons, so maybe I'll do a video on it a little bit later. And finish it off with a slap. This guy here kind of was getting on my nerves, to be honest. Wasn't a bad driver or anything, but he had wiped me out a couple of times. I generally don't get angry. I did lean on him a little bit. There I wanted to push the back end of the car way wide, and that Charger came in and did a good chase. I had a good time following this guy. He ran pretty clean lines, and we definitely turned it up towards the end of the session. We were really getting some good chase, and I was laying down some good lead runs for him to follow as well. So that was fun. Obviously, he's on PC. See, this car can definitely get a little boggy. Oh man, this guy was taking people out all day. This car can get a little boggy in 5th gear, so that's why I've had to tighten up that gear basically. Just tighten up that gear a little bit, make sure that you can get some RPM out of the motor while you're in that gear. Sinan, this guy killed it too. His Z36 was looking pretty cool. He was just a good guy to follow. You see us driving way outside, nice and wide. Doing my best to stay in the pocket without disturbing him. You know, I don't want to be messing up other people's runs too. You know, he's laying down a pretty spectacular run for us to follow. So that was good. You see Coppers back there tailing me a little bit, and yeah, all in all, this is a really fun car to drive. You know, once you get the tune right, it really comes down to getting the tune right on this car. So I figured I'd share my tune settings, and maybe they'll work for some of you guys. You know, bring back some of the older cars. You know, a lot of the newer cars get a ton of attention, but this car's a shredder. It absolutely rips. I think it looks pretty cool. You know, just an all-around good car to use, and hopefully you guys get something out of this. But that's the video. We're going to have some more footage for you to watch. Please enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow along. We'll see what else we get into. Enjoy.